Welcome everybody, it's Dan. Hope you're well today. Welcome to Marketing and Sales Show podcast. Today we're going to talk about social media, about how to use it to grow your business. If you have a business and you need to grow it, this is a really good way that you should be implementing social media. So we've got 4 different things that we're going to talk about today. But just before we get to the 4 different things that you can do to grow your business, let's just talk about why we choose to use social media. Or reasons I should say that we use it is because it really doesn't cost you that much money. Now it can cost you a little bit if you're using a company like us, for example, to go out and do some of the editing, upload images and videos and do all the scheduling and that kind of thing. But it doesn't have to do that. If you're putting out a huge amount of content and it's just getting too much, at that point you really need to be using us. But for example, we use Restream right now. We're using OBS for the all these fancy bits all over the screen. So that doesn't cost us anything. Like Restream, I think costs us maybe 25 quid, 30 quid a month, something like that. And we can go live across all different platforms all at the same time. It's really awesome. You should do that. But it doesn't have to cost you a lot. And so there's no kind of reason for you not actually getting going. I don't know where my phone is. Here it is. But you could use a mobile phone. You could start a business with no money, no internet, just stand outside Apple or McDonald's is a good one, and use your phone, a second-hand phone. You could go live. You can create a business from nothing. It's one of the reasons why we absolutely love it. You don't have to have your car stickered up. You don't have to be dropping leaflets. You can just go live and add value, and you can close business that way. And so I think that bit's really important to remind people, because I think people think that, you need a lot of money to start. I don't believe it. I've never believed that. And so I think that's kind of a misnomer or an excuse for people not to get started. But having said that, let's talk about how to use social media to grow your business. And really this is number one for me, is it's about connection. It's about educating people from time to time. It's also about having fun. And those 3 things are actually interconnected, and you might not think they are interconnected, but they are. So this morning I went for cheesecake down at our local cheesecake place, which is on the shores of the Mediterranean Sea. So it's on the beachfront, a place called Voromar, very, very nice. I had a cheesecake there and uploaded that to LinkedIn. I uploaded it to Facebook, got a little bit of engagement. And so that's about connection. Someone said, Steve Wright said, I'm sure you could make it disappear, and by Jove, I did. Left a few crumbs. I gobbled it all up. It's about connection. Even though these people are thousands of miles away, you don't have to be face to face. And don't get me wrong, going out for a pint and a curry is a great way of building a business as well, going to networking events, shaking hands and all of that kind of thing. But I live 1,000 miles away. I can't go to a networking event. What am I going to do? Fly on a plane, go to Leeds, get on a plane, come back? It's just never going to happen, right? So it's about connection, and it's about using the different formats that social media provides, such as lives like this. This could be a connection, or it could be uploading a picture of the cheesecake, or the fact that your dog stole. Why did we have toilet roll out? We had toilet roll for some reason. Oh, because we had a gecko in the house, so I had to go get some toilet roll, collect the gecko, put him safely outside. And when I came back, I couldn't find the toilet roll. The dog was sat there with it hanging out of her mouth, looking like a toilet roll holder. It was very funny, right? So I posted that. So that's about fun as well. It's about connection. And then other things like this live stream is really about educating people about how to use social media to grow your business. But again, we can have some fun and we can build some connection as well. So it's really about those 3 things. It's not just about saying, hey, buy my stuff. That doesn't work. That's just an advert. You've got to build connection, get people to know you, get people to like you, get people to trust you. Very, very important. But also it's about the platforms and the individual platforms from time to time. So Gary Vee would say you should have a piece of content for LinkedIn, and a piece of content for TikTok, and a piece of content for Instagram, and a piece of content for YouTube, and a piece of content for Facebook. And I can't even say all of that in one breath. And if I can't say all that in one breath, what makes Gary Vee think we've got all this time to create 5 separate pieces of content just for those 5 individual places? And then he's like, yeah, well, you should be posting 4 times a day. So now that's 20 pieces of content per individual platform every single. Like, how the hell are you going to do that? No one can do that. No one's got that time. So it is about the platforms, but it's about putting the reach out across all of the platforms, usually all at the same time. But from time to time, like on LinkedIn, for example, one of the things that you can do is see it all the time. They're always coming up at the top of my LinkedIn feed. Is you could have a poll of some kind, like vote for these 4 things. What's your favourite film? What's your favourite 80s film? Right? Back to the Future. Try to think of 80s films. Terminator, Aliens, probably, and Ghostbusters. Right? Which one? Like, now you're getting engagement, which is exactly what we're talking about. Look at me getting all excited and moving the camera about Ghostbusters. But that's about connection, and it's about fun. But it's all about these various platforms, and they're not just these various platforms, but it's about the reach. So some people, for example, they might only have 200 friends on Facebook. You could go live until you're blue in the face. You still only got 200 friends on Facebook. That is your reach. Facebook might be kind to you. I doubt it, but it might be. You might get 250 people, but your reach isn't big enough. If we got 13 or 14,000 people on LinkedIn, 12,000 people on Twitter, 3,500 on Facebook. We've got YouTube, like 3,000 subscribers on YouTube. But then the shorts from that, they'll go out and, they may get 3, 4, 5,000 views, for example, which isn't even that much. One of our clients gets like 300,000 views on Facebook, which is amazing, right? But it's about individual platforms, doing individual things on individual platforms, and then it's about doing the same thing across all the platforms and every so often doing individual things, and then it's about increasing the reach that you've got. So your reach is like, imagine, I picked this up this week, last week. I was at my mum's in Leeds, and it was like The Advertiser covering LS15. Now imagine that's got 100,000 people that's going to receive that. That is the reach of that magazine. It's not going to increase it. Social media is a little bit different in that you can increase your reach by extending a handshake or friendship. Do you want to be my mate on Facebook? That kind of thing. Following people who are in a similar, who have similar interests, for example. So you can expand your reach more than you can do with a magazine. But most people don't do it, and that's why most people are failing on social media, is because they're not expanding that reach. And that's definitely something that you need to do if you want to be successful on social media. But then you see it's about ideas. What are you going to talk about? What's the content that you're going to put out? So you could take Mr. Beast, probably the most successful YouTuber who's ever lived. He was offered like $1 billion to sell all his YouTube channels, which was a crazy price. But actually, when you look at his revenues, like 300 million a year, it's not worth it, because in 3 years he's got all his revenues back. And also, Mr. Beast, is the business. He is the business. He would find it very difficult to sell, and for those people to maintain all his followers. I just think that would be very difficult to do. So it's about ideas and it's about content. So you've got to come up with some good ideas. It can be about connection, it can be about education, it can be about fun or entertainment, and that's what people go on social media for. But you've got to come up with lots and lots of ideas, and ChatGPT can be your friend. But then just conversations that you're having with people. We were talking about this earlier today with someone else. We'll talk about how to use social media, and a couple of these things came up, and I'm writing these down. Well, I don't write them down. I put them in Notepad, and I store them for content for later. So you've got to come up with ideas to talk about, to go live about, to put content out about, to put images, to write long-form content, on LinkedIn or whatever that's going to be on your website, and then you put the links back from LinkedIn back to your website, driving traffic back. So you've got to have these ideas, and you've got to have content. And these come from people that you speak to. It comes from ChatGPT. It comes from other people's content, giving you ideas. But you have to embrace that. And if you come up with something, you've got to write it down and go, that's what I'm going to go live about next time. How do you think we come up with so much content? And we do. We come up with a huge amount of content. And then it's really about seeing what works. And really what this means is that you've got to have an idea about what your analytics are telling you. What is the end of month Google report telling you? What's your favourite, what's been your most popular page on your website? What's been the most popular post? What video crushed it? What video did people really search for? And when you can start putting all of that together, that will give you really important key performance indicators as to the type of content that you should be putting out in future. What's going to work, guaranteed. What's really not going to work and fall flat on its ass. And also, just because it works doesn't mean it's right for you either. Like we had, whenever we talk about tenants and rents going up massively, we always get loads of views on that content, but none of those people are going to buy from us for our digital marketing content. They're just pissed off at landlords, which is really not the kind of audience that we want because we can't monetize it. So this is really, really important. You've got to see what works, and what you think will work probably isn't going to work, and what you think will never work probably does work. But does it even work from a monetization point of view? And so you've got to follow the piece of content all the way through. And, when you get people in sales calls, you've got to be asking them, how did you find our content? How did you get onto this sales call? How did we get introduced to each other? What was all that about? That bit's really, really important. Anyway, I do hope you find that useful. That was our education part that you should be putting in place all the time. And we'll catch up with you live next week. I'm in the UK next week, so we'll probably go live from the UK. Have yourselves a wicked weekend, and we'll speak to you soon. Have a good one. Take care.